Hello, people of YouTube.
Hi.
I am American McGee.
I'm Martin.
You are Martin. Every day you're Martin. But someday I want to try being Martin as well.
Don't.
No.
Sucks.
So we are coming to you live from Shanghai. This is our fantastic new setup for the underground lair.
What do you think?
What do you
it's
think?
Awesome? I like it.
I think it's turned out all right.
Look at it go.
We still might have a little bit of adjusting to do for microphones and lights and whatnot,
Maybe.
but it's getting there.
I'm just looking at the comments.
These are all
dress.
the posters that you guys, actually our patrons, have helped to make a bunch of this artwork with people like Alex. He's did the this Alice Otherlands poster, and this is
Red Cheshire.
The Red Cheshire. And Joey's artwork from Out of the Woods, also crowdfunded. And some art from Madness Returns and all kinds of good stuff back there.
What we got here? We've got Omri.
Omri's amazing art.
Yeah. It's all
Anyway,
up here.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of art today. But first, we want to do a shout out to our sponsors at Freaky Fandoms.
Let's do the shout out first.
Let's do the shout out first, because we've got all kinds of stuff. We got to look at art. We're going to give away some prizes. We're going to play some Alice, and we're going to read your comments. But we couldn't do any of that if it weren't for our friends over at Freaky Fandoms.
Yeah. And this podcast, The Greasy Strangler. I'd never heard of it. We watched the trailer just before we came on air.
I highly recommend you go and watch the trailer.
It's an odd one.
It's a very odd one.
But apparently it's one of these guys' favorite movies.
And if you ever wanted to know anything about Deborah and Andrew and their personality, when they say this is one of their favorite films, that might just say it all.
Maybe.
But you could go listen to the podcast and get to hear their insights and why they love this film so much. And you might love this film so much. It looked like it was available to watch in its entirety on YouTube.
It seemed it was on YouTube.
Yes.
So yeah.
There you go.
Check it out. Check out the podcast. Check out the movie. Support Freaky Fandoms because they support us.
The Greasy Strangler. You really should go. Just punch that in on YouTube when we're done with the stream and watch the trailer and ask yourself if you've ever seen anything so freaky.
Greasy.
Very strange. Yeah. So again, today in the new studio, we've got all of you here in the chat with us. Welcome back. And
people seem to be loving the new studio setup.
That's good.
As indeed they should, because it's great.
So Astral Visual says, I hear a slight bit of background static. Actually, it's not static. It is the cicadas, or the locusts or something outside here in Shanghai.
Can't do anything about that.
I did go out there and ask them to be quiet, and then they ate all my crops.
Assholes.
Jerks. I hate cicadas. All right. So anyway, let's just get right into it. We've got a bunch of artwork to look at today. This is coming to us from our friend Omri. Omri has been tasked with designing new dresses.
And he's doing an amazing job of it.
He is doing such an amazing job. It makes me lay awake at night thinking perhaps the new Alice game should just be like Alice in Runway Land. I mean, it's fantastic. The response we've seen on Instagram, we posted up one of these dresses and it has nearly like 10,000. It's definitely the highest.
The most likes I've seen on one of your posts.
So the dress work is it's getting a lot of positive feedback. And this
maybe Alice could be like Final Fantasy X2. That was essentially a costume simulator.
It feels like there's something there. We did that with Madness Returns. We gave her a set of dresses and they changed as you moved through the game. And I think that idea was embraced and people loved it and I love it. But now what we're seeing is that dresses are a really big thing. Especially as we work through this process, they're getting a massive response. So maybe more dresses.
More.
We'll see.
What's that skull on the back? There's a noose.
There is a noose around
is it like a card guard?
The neck of the skull, and that is the shape of the face from the card guards in the games. Beautiful. So this one is called the Blackening dress, and
it's a weird one, that.
And it's based off the section of the game which would be the moon. And we're saying in the narrative that this would be the location of her personal shadow. If you've watched some of the previous streams, then you will know we talked about the narrative adventure whereby the initial goal that she thinks she has to overcome would be the destruction of the Jabberwocky. And there's a series of events that lead up to her being in a position to destroy the Jabberwocky. But I think what we're talking about now is that, yeah, we're going to present that, but it's a sort of like it's an illusion, this goal, and that what she'll eventually realize is that she's got to go and confront her personal shadow. So the darkest elements of herself, and that she has to destroy or integrate or otherwise overcome the personal shadow, and that's the true sort of enemy. But enemy may not be the right word. It may just be that this is the true goal of the game at the end of the game. So this would be the dress which exists in that space, in the moon, the moon level, and where that character, the personal shadow, resides.
Zoom in on the necklace. Is that the Cheshire Grin? It says it in the notes. I just wanted a closer look at it.
You're talking about this shape right here.
Yeah.
Well, that could either be the moon, or it could be...
No, I think it's right there in the notes. Take a look.
Cheshire smile as a necklace.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that there is a phase of the moon which looks like the Cheshire Cat's grin.
Yeah.
So you have a comment there, Martin.
Ice Killer 158. Welcome. Super chats is always appreciated. 50 Shades of Alice's dresses. Could we get 50 in there?
I bet we could. I bet we'd have no problem getting 50 or 100 dresses in the game. But it may be that there's no enemies or locations to explore because we blew all of the budget on dresses. But hey, I mean, if you go upstairs into my closet, it's like that. Somehow all of the money is getting blown on clothes.
All on your dresses?
No, I have like exactly 2 shelves among 20. And someone else in the house. It's not Lulu, it's not me, but they're spending a lot of money on dresses. Anyway, yeah, this one's pretty cool. Speaking of Ice Killer, who just sent us a super chat, thank you very much, Ice Killer. We have been back and forth with him quite a bit the last couple days because it turns out that over on Patreon, his comments were magically disappearing. And so we needed to do a quick note to all of our patrons to say, if you post something and it vanishes, that is because Patreon employs a third-party spam filter, and the spam filter can pick out some comments and discard them without any kind of notification to us or our patrons. So if you see that happen, you want to write to Patreon and tell them, hey, my comment vanished, and they'll fix it.
Yeah, because we will never delete a comment unless it's massively inappropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
So we won't just delete something because we kind of don't agree with what you're saying.
That's correct. We'd have to very disagree with what you're saying.
Yes.
So yeah, this dress turned out really cool. I love
lots of positive comments.
Many things about this. And there's just all these cool elements, the patterns, even just the little X's in her neck piece there is fantastic. The stars. And of course, he's done the... Oops. Don't break OBS. He's done the skeleton motif again in the gloves. And that, I think, is super cool. Like the cosplayers, they're going to love that they can wear... a pair of gloves with the bones revealed in them. It's very Day of the Dead.
It is. It is.
And I love Day of the Dead stuff. As a kid, I actually spent some years growing up in Mexico, and my mom tended to collect a lot of the Day of the Dead masks and dolls, and so we had a lot of that stuff around, and I was always a big fan. One of the cooler events that they have down in Mexico, the Dios de Muertos celebration of the dead. It's like Halloween on steroids. It's really super cool. But anyway, there's a lot of this going on during that event.
Looks great.
Yep, very nice.
Maybe the dress could have some mention of that instead of being the Blackening.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to talk to Omri about the inspiration for the Blackening. I mean, it's clearly a very black dress, but I'm not sure where some of these ideas, so like the noose around the neck, again, it could be significant in terms of the symbology of the destruction of self. We need to get Omri on the live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get him over to China.
Let's do that. But yeah, there's some other little things going on here that I think are really cool. Like, for instance, just the crescent shape.
The crescent dress.
Yeah. Again, keeping with the moon motif. And her shoes. They're sort of glittery, moon dusty type of shoes. Turned out really nice. Anyway.
It's a good one.
We haven't posted this up on Patreon yet, but we will, and then that would give you all a chance to write your comments about the dress.
Truth Decay super chats us. Thank you very much. Those silver shoes with the Blackening dress are pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's moved in shoe design per your feedback. I mean, not Truth Decay's feedback specifically, but feedback from the fans. So, and that would be from the cosplayers. He's moved to more comfortable, flat-soled shoes.
Instead of massive, thigh-high, heeled, kinky boots.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there are two reasons why this is good. One, it makes life easier for the cosplayers. Mm-hmm. And two, it is probably more appropriate and sensible for a 13-year-old girl.
I think so.
Yeah. I think that having the high heels on her, we had a few people make the comment that they felt she was being overly sexualized. She was being sort of made more mature in her look than was appropriate. And I agreed with that. I think we want to be careful. We've talked about that before. And so anyway, she's got more sensible shoes now.
Great stuff.
Very good stuff.
So, what's going on here? Chaussette super chats us. Thank you very much. Just loving Alice as a goth queen. Yeah, that black image was pretty positive. Saw a couple of negatives. I think one of them was from Greg. Wasn't overly sold on the idea, but nothing too negative I didn't see.
All right. Well, it's fashion. You know, not everyone's going to love fashion. But as we said, the feedback so far from our cosplayers who follow us on Instagram and Facebook and places like that is super positive. They're really, really down with the hairstyle, the makeup, the dresses. They're getting very excited about this. So,
looks like we're going to have a super chat war.
Woo!
It's fine by us.
All of your super chats are going to go towards myself and Martin and Lulu and Yen.
Lulu treats and margaritas.
That's right. We're gonna. So it's Friday here in Shanghai.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Oh my God! Look at it go. Let's do this. Truth Decay. Thank you. Seems to be looking. It's going to have a fight with Chaussette, who agrees. Yep, damn right. Ninja Friday super chats. Would you consider putting out a print of the dresses? Together or separate? It's one of his favorite parts of the game.
How do you know Ninja Friday is a man? You might have just misgendered.
Oh my
that
God,
ninja.
I'm always misgendering
that
people.
Might be a gender ninja who flits back and forth between different genders.
Maybe a ninja should possibly be fluid.
So as far as the prints go, the way that works is that we ask our patrons and we ask you on YouTube, our fans here, which prints should go into the print factory each month. So patrons, there's some level where like they pay a certain amount per month, or every 3 months they get to choose, or we choose a print. So if you see a print that you, or an image you think should be a print, then throw your vote into the hat over there.
Yeah. But it won't be the next print.
No, it won't.
That's already been decided.
Is that one?
No, that's the one that's already been and gone.
That's the one we did.
Well, we haven't done it yet.
Okay.
It's the guilt image.
Ah, right.
The inhaling of the house.
That's a good one. But I take the point. I think that a print that was a bunch of the dresses, maybe like a triptych or a 4 or 6 images all together, that could be really cool.
I think so. We never got round to doing Sunny's images as prints.
We ought to do that.
Yeah, we've got so much choice.
We do.
Blade Siskadal, Super Chatsers, thank you very much. One day I will join a Super Chat war. One day. Something to look forward to.
It's something to prepare for. Greg wants to know if I said misgingered.
Misgingered somebody.
What I was trying to do was combine ninja-ing with gendering. So it was a sort of, oh my God.
Truth decay. He's up the ante. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it, for sure.
Lulu appreciates it.
Lulu will certainly appreciate that.
All right.
Where is she?
Well, what I was saying, though, is that it's Friday the 13th here.
Thank you very much.
Martin is staying over, and Truth Decay, you've just bought us some drinks. Oh, my God. Martin, we might be getting really drunk tonight.
Shit's got real.
Lulu might get really drunk tonight.
Chaussette.
Thank you, guys. That's enough drinks, though. You guys.
Yeah, you don't have to keep doing that.
Yeah, you're going to have to calm the war down. Anyway, let's get back.
I wonder how many other YouTubers would tell people not to do that.
I don't know. But let's get back to art review here.
Let's do that.
All right, so this is the Chaos dress. And actually, what's funny is I didn't see this dress until about an hour ago.
Yep. You didn't know it was in our little shared drive.
Yeah, well, Omri dropped it into a shared folder, and then no one told me it was there. So, but I think it's fantastic. I love it. What does he say about this dress, Martin?
Bloody ripped, patched, sewed a few times, asymmetrical. That says Chaos.
Well, Chaos, in one of its forms, it's embodied in the yin and yang. And so the idea that you might have a left and a right, a chaos and an order, two different sides could make sense. Chaos is also cast in the feminine oftentimes. And so having this dress be more feminine perhaps than some of the others might make sense. Of course, we still have the question of being careful about not over-sexualizing our 13-year-old game character, but that's, I think, not to say that 13-year-old girl can't be feminine versus a 13-year-old boy who you might say is masculine without either one of them being sexualized. And I think this dress does a good job of that. Of course, dresses are, in general, feminine.
The comments seem to be quite mixed for this one. It's not getting as much love as the Blackening.
There's something about this one that, and it may be, it has to do with her hair, but I think the head and the face and the hair are giving me a very distinct Padme Star Wars type of feeling.
Yes, the Padme hair.
It is. This is something Padme would do. When she went before the Galactic Council. Senators, I beseech you, do not let Darth Trump initiate a trade war against... Anyway.
Let's look at the Super Chats. Alice on Elm Street Super Chats. That it's their first stream.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Alice on Elm Street. Surprise, bitches!
What?
That's
Is that Scary Terry?
Scary Terry.
Right. What was that one that just went past?
He was generic Nightmare on Elm Street.
That one, yeah. Oh no,
That's
you
it.
have to scroll to it. Blade Siskadol, super chats again for my glorious fonts. I've been avoiding the fonts. I'm not allowed to use fonts anymore.
He was told off a bit.
Look at it, fontless on the wiki.
But it looks like something's happening over there.
Oh yeah,
Speaking
stuff's
of
going
fonts,
down.
It looks like there are sections being added to the wiki.
Sections are appearing.
So
and
I
we
also
have,
just learned
added
this morning that people are being added to the wiki editor list.
Yeah, so far we've added 2 fans. One of them for sure is in this stream.
Very cool.
So yeah, the wiki is up and running. It's being created.
Wow.
Go, go, go.
Look at that.
Arr,
Amazing.
Cheshire
That's pretty cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see the wikis coming to life. And we have a phone call later today, right after this stream, which all this is going to get talked about.
Make the chat move.
Yes, sir. There you go.
Ninja Friday. Super chats. Yep, he's a dude. Gender Ninja would be a pretty cool screen name.
That was my invention. You're welcome. Ginger
Never
Ninja.
joined, but I'm definitely out of this chat war. It got a bit out of hand. We appreciated it, sure. But we wouldn't want you guys to keep doing that and bankrupt yourselves.
That wouldn't be good.
No.
Pace yourselves. We have a long ways to go. Right, so I think this dress is not receiving the same sort of love that some of the others did.
It isn't.
No.
It's an unusual one. Like I said, the art itself is amazing, as it always is from Omri. But the design, it's... I don't know, it's an unusual one.
Well, I think one of the issues here is that even though a lot of the dresses that we end up with in the game can be pretty fantastic, they still feel in the realm of reason and possibility and wearability. And this, to me, comes off kind of like feeling... If you went to a fashion show, you'd have several runways, and one of them... several of them would be sort of the actual line of products that the company's producing for daily wear or for a night out and for whatever season. And then you'd have couture. And couture would be all of the super over-the-top stuff. It's people wearing boxes and bags on their heads and lights and feathers coming out their asses. And this, I feel like, would kind of go on the couture stage. It would be impractical.
Yes.
And that may be what we're tweaking to here is I don't know that we see her wearing this in the midst of battle. But maybe that's just me. I don't know what the
chat's saying.
Now, if I was thinking about sitting down and doing a chaos dress, I would do a much more distinctly yin and yang, the kind of a split. With the feminine, the one side, the yin side, being dominant and kind of overcoming the yang side, but
Yeah. Okay. Lucas Severin super chat says, "What would we do if people try to pirate Alice Asylum?"
Well, it's not a question of if. People will try to pirate Alice Asylum, and I think that what the industry sort of accepts now is that they put in mechanisms to try to slow down the pirating as much as possible. There's been studies done that show that based on the number of hours or days you're able to delay the initial pirating, you increase the return on the sales, daily by significant percentages. And so this ultimately, though, is not our decision to make. It'll be the decision of the publisher. And a lot of the publishers we're talking to these days are building online publishing platforms. And so a lot of times those platforms have built into them copy protection. And that's just the way the world is going, is that a lot of stuff is moving away from the physical and towards the digital. And so I think
It's been a while since I've heard anything about copy protection. There was some good stuff coming out that was taking people a really long time to crack. But then again, there's also really bad ones where you have to sort of be online to register your product and the servers didn't always work and people complained. So it's a tricky one.
So someone mentions here, Greg mentions that, some games take copy protection to an interesting place where the game design itself is affected by it being a pirated copy. And I've always thought that that was a cute idea. I think that, making it so playing the pirated version, you tend to die more often, or you can't save properly, or you think you're saving, or, things like that can be... They sound good. I think they make for good news, like good PR, but I don't know if ultimately you're doing anything to dissuade people from copying. I mean, this is such a massive can of worms. There's the whole argument that no amount of copy protection is going to stop a person who's bent on copying from copying. And so the only thing you're doing is punishing legitimate purchasing customers. But yeah, I mean, for us right now, I can't really put like a hard stake into this topic because, again, it will largely depend on where the product gets published to. Yeah. And that platform or those platforms will have their own answer to this type of stuff.
But like Lucas super chats again, have an invisible evil Alice come out of nowhere and kill them.
Yeah, it would be cool.
But somebody did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Some company, they released a version of their game that had something like you couldn't get past a certain thing.
Exactly.
And then when the people wrote into their customer service, I can't get past this wall. Is it broken? You knew they were playing a pirated copy. And
Right.
So exactly. Quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember EA having issues like that where people would have the early pirated version that had a bug and then they'd call for support and then they'd just get laughed at for playing the buggy early version. So someone in the chats asked where they can find the Asylum wiki, and that is actually over at americanmcgee.com/Asylum wiki. So you're welcome to go and check that out. It's still very much a work in progress.
Early days.
But we have not really linked to it from anywhere, so we should start to promote it a bit more and to link to it. Yeah.
Truth Decay chat says again, thank you very much. American could pirate jam his pirate fist in their pirate face.
Well, there you go.
Would you?
We do have piratey moments. Yeah, that was one of the problems during Pirate Jam was that we had games ongoing, like the beach games. Competitions, and there was cheating happening in the games from time to time. And then the pirates, the contestants, the people participating, several of them made the comment that, well, we're pirates. What do you expect us to do? And I couldn't really argue against that.
You live and learn, though, for the next Pirate Jam.
You do.
Ninja Friday. $2 super chat, thank you. And that $2 is for Lulu biting copy protection.
Awesome.
Lulu's just joined us.
She has.
Hello, Lulu.
So this dress, this is the denial dress. This is what we uploaded to Instagram and Facebook and a bunch of places, and it
went mental.
It went absolutely mental. And I think that one of the reasons that it went so mental was the fact that it is a yellow dress, which harkens back to the original dress that was in the Tennille illustrations for the first book. And so a lot of people keyed into that, and they really liked seeing that color come back, even though I read a lot of people say, I don't particularly like yellow as a dress color. I wouldn't have thought I would have liked this. And yet they absolutely love it.
It's a fantastic dress. Is it just the design, or is it supposed to be a little like a padded cell material? Yeah,
I think a lot of people picked up on that element of the dress fabric looking like a padded cell. I think that's a good question for Omri as to whether or not he meant for that to be the message encoded in the design, in the fabric. But for sure, it does give us that sense of the padded cell. Now, one of my favorite little elements in the image is this. It's that the front of the dress is perfect and clean and happy, and she seems like, aside from the knife, everyone's sort of idea of the pre-fire Alice, and yet there's this little...
It's a little hint.
This little tear in her stockings.
Yeah, somebody on the Facebook comment couldn't spot where the hint was on the front. You're like, where am I looking? Where's the hint?
Yeah, you have to look a little close there. But it's in the back where all the business is.
Oh, Ray Weatherford super chat says, it's a big one. Thank you very much. Lunch is on Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
That's excellent.
I am friends with Ray over on Facebook, and he's always been very supportive and helping out with our various projects over the years. So thank you, Ray, for joining us, and thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated.
And Brittany Mans is here. Cheshire or Hatter inspired dresses would be cool. I'm sure we'll probably have some of that.
Well, in Madness Returns, we had both. We had a Cheshire-inspired dress skin. I think that was one of the downloadable ones. Right. And then we also had the steampunk, and I think there was steampunk, and there was another one that was sort of Hatter-inspired. Oh, look at who's that. Oh, they're sending all kinds of money for you to buy treats for you, Lulu. That was good.
What's the microphone smell like, Lulu?
Sniffing right into the microphone there. That's a good one, Lulu. Are you trying to tell them something secret? Lulu secrets with your sniffs?
What can you see?
Oh boy. Uh-oh. Oh, she's got her eyes on something up there. There's like something in the ceiling she's very interested in. Lulu, what are you doing? All right. Anyway. Kiss. No? Go give Martin a kiss.
I don't want a kiss.
Yeah. All right. You go down there. Okay, so back to the dress. There was another element of this that was... Oh, I know what it is. Lulu wanted to remind us that it's contest time. That's why she's here. That is what it is. So you guys make a bunch of noise in the chats.
What should they say today?
What kind of treat would you give to Lulu?
What's the tastiest Lulu treat?
And what are we giving away, Martin?
Let's give away patches.
All right, patches. But what if they've won patches before?
Then they get a second set of patches.
Wow, you're being very generous today.
Why not?
That's fine.
I mean, this, according to YouTube, we've got quite a lot of people today. Oh my God! Alice on Elm Street is a new joiner, so doesn't know not to super chat during the competition time. But yes, super chats anyway, thank you. A light-hearted Cheshire dress, like the Disney version with pinks and purples. Well, it wouldn't be exactly like the Disney version, because that would...
get us sued.
Sued into oblivion and back again.
Yeah, we don't want to get sued.
But a light-hearted, more fun type of dress.
I gotta admit, I don't usually sit around thinking about how can we make the game more lighthearted. So that's not really our Alice, and that's not really my style.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, a lot of people wanting to give Lulu bacon strips and sushi bacon strips.
Give me bacon strips.
Martin does like that. Bacon strips. All right, here we go. We're gonna roll it for the embroidered patches.
Good luck.
Good luck. Even if you've won before, Martin says you can win again. Cannibal Clown.
Cannibal Clown.
What was that?
Damn it, Nightbot.
Nightbot just died.
Logged us out, but it did choose Cannibal Clown.
Somebody named Cannibal Clown won. I don't think it even posted that into the chat. But
Cannibal Clown. It's a familiar name, but I don't know if they won. Certainly not recently.
Right.
There we go.
You're just going to have to believe us that Cannibal Clown won the contest. And we'll need to PM us address and phone number, email address, all that kind of good stuff.
I was just wondering, was the camera shaking when I was writing?
I don't know. No one can see.
We with the new setup, the camera is propped up on the desk now, so we have to be careful.
All right.
For now.
So, Cannibal Clown, please send your information to us. If you can't figure out how to do it on YouTube, then do so by emailing mysterious@americanmcgee.com. All right. So another one of the elements that caused a little bit of controversy on this dress was the "It's Your Fault" written in blood on the petticoat. So a lot of people said they thought that was a bit too on the nose. In other words,
was it the phrase or the fact that her back was ripped open?
Well, there were. That's a different one. It's
right.
A different comment. So the first thing that I noticed people saying was that they thought that this "It's Your Fault" in blood on the petticoat was gone too far. They thought, you could have the blood on the petticoat, but maybe not there being actual words. And I saw a couple of people say, that feels kind of like cheesy, cheap horror movie.
Right.
Now, I didn't think that when I first saw this. I thought having that written on there was okay, especially because I imagine in game you're maybe not ever gonna zoom in far enough. At least you're not gonna do it very often to know that that's what's written there. We would know that. You would know that. Lulu would know that. Omri would know it. Maybe some of the hardcore fans would know it, but I don't know that your sort of average player would know it. But I think this is, we want to get some feedback from everyone.
Comments, a little mixed. I think it's probably weighted a little more towards it's fine, but there's certainly a few people here saying it's a little too much.
Right. So what was the comment you were referring to, Martin?
I think people were just concerned about having the back ripped open was a little bit like maybe there'd been some sort of sexy assault going on.
I see. I didn't see that. I didn't see that comment in particular. There was one of the dresses where I did see someone make this makes me uncomfortable for maturity / sexual type of reasons. We might want to dig that comment up. I think that was on Patreon. But this dress in particular didn't make. I didn't get that vibe, and I didn't see a lot of comments on that sort of particular take on this dress.
Right.
So I think we want to be careful. If you get 1,000 comments and then one person comes and says, "This makes me feel uncomfortable, remove it." I don't think we can necessarily listen to that one person.
No, not if one person says it.
Right.
I kind of get what they say, but there's a lot in the chat here now saying it's not ripped open, it's burnt.
Exactly. And, I mean, as far as I know, it's not a common thing for rapists to go around burning the clothes off of people before they rape them.
No.
Yeah.
So, I think it's fine. I think overwhelmingly people are okay with this.
Right.
And it looks good to have the perfect at the front, destroyed at the back.
Well, different people can be triggered by different things, and that means that, you might be triggered by something that I see and 99% of people see as purely innocent. Mm-hmm. And that's going to cause for us some confusion. It doesn't mean that your being triggered is any less valid, but I think it's also the case that you have to be careful with how you make your concessions to people being triggered, lest you end up with a world that has no content in it because of the fear of triggering someone somewhere somehow.
everything you do, probably guaranteed someone somewhere in the world will not like it.
Exactly.
So you can't just censor yourself because of that fear of that very small chance.
This is correct.
A super chat went past.
Did it?
Yes.
It's weird that they don't show up. There we go.
Blade Siskadol, fan of the dress. Always good to have options in games. It certainly is. And I think most people are also fans of this dress based on the massive Instagram information we've seen.
Now, I saw one funny comment where someone said, they called out that it says curved silver thing. And the comment was, I don't understand. What's that? And it's like, well, clearly he's just kind of messing around. You don't need to take it too seriously. But it's a curved silver thing. What do you want? Yeah. So I think we've got a massive amount of feedback and comments on this. Hopefully we can get to some of those over on Patreon during today's live stream.
Let's make the chat active again.
I'm being absolutely ravished, molested by the dog right now. She's decided to come round and lick and snuggle aggressively.
Aggressive snuggling.
There is some aggressive snuggling going on. Now, I feel like he may have done some...
This has been updated.
Right.
I'm sure it has. Especially the scythe.
Yeah,
inclusion.
I don't remember the scythe being in the original image.
I also don't remember the flaming shoulders.
Oh, I see.
Were they?
But, that could be solved with a little bit of anti-dandruff shampoo. Can you imagine, in Wonderland, if there was just suddenly, an ad that
sponsored
popped
by
up?
Head and Shoulders.
Exactly. It was like, are your shoulders on fire? Are your friends giving you funny looks when you're at a cocktail party? Head and Shoulders. Dry, itchy scalp in the most extreme.
But they are putting blatant adverts in games these days. Well, some. Looking at you, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
With cup noodles and...
I think the changes he's made are pretty cool. Now, I think also this filigree, this is new. I don't think that was a piece of this before. The coffin shape in the back of the dress, the butterfly, the fire symbol, all those things were there.
Was the skull dripping before?
I don't remember. But this is, a little bit updated, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I have no issues with this dress or its presentation at all.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, for me, so far, this is, I think, my favorite of the dresses he's done.
I agree. I love this just from a purely gameplay and also crazy Super Saiyan kind of look. I think it looks fantastic.
I do think when I look at this, and I think if I were a cosplayer, I would wish that there was a way that I could be mounted on some sort of a bracket arm that held on to me and allowed me to be floated
on your tippy toes.
On my tippy toes with some little flame stuff coming out. I don't know how exactly they're going to pull that off, but...
Super chats are scrolling past. Let's scroll the chat. Ice Killer had one before.
He just said that the $2 does not get pinned on top, only the $5.
That's why it's not there.
But thank you, Ice Killer, for the $2 reminder.
And the $2. Priscilla Nosoma. The yellow dress is perfect. Don't change a thing. I think most people would agree.
Yep.
Based on how many likes that got on our Instagram.
I think so.
It went crazy. People are loving it.
Yep.
Steph Lorden. 15,000 W.
Wow.
Is that one?
One?
Don't know.
Might be a one.
Okay. I have to work now, but I have to say the denial dress is really awesome. I love it. It's which one is this? Is she calling this one the denial?
No. Denial is this one.
Oh, that one.
Denial,
yeah, of course.
Dress. It says it right here.
Yes, it is fantastic.
You're gonna
and
have
as soon
to
as you see it,
you're gonna have to get your dresses straight, Martin.
I am get my dresses straight in my head. But yeah, as soon as I saw the yellow dress, the denial dress, I could just see people cosplaying that to death.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we also had somebody in the chat there say, how does the scythe fit in? And that's a fair question. The scythe would not really fit in if we're doing toys as weapons, and I think that we are. It may be that Omri was just having a bit of fun there.
Maybe.
Don't know.
Plus, a flaming double-ended scythe is probably a pretty cool gameplay weapon.
Yep.
But maybe not for this.
Yeah, I think not for this game. It's a bit... So that I would consider to be too adult. I don't imagine a 13-year-old scared girl running around with a scythe in hand. That would feel very off. Now, her brandishing the Vorpal blade and doing it in a very nervous fashion, I can see that happening. I can see her being equipped with these dresses, and in the way of a young girl who's trying to find herself and her style, and being uncomfortable wearing, say, high heels for the first time, or wearing a dress like this for the first time. I think that makes sense, and that's in line with her character and her journey, and I want to represent that. But having her pick up a scythe feels like, no. How would you know how to deal with that and how to handle that, We could flash back to her in her yard twirling a stick.
Okay. Could fit it in if we tried.
Twirling a baton, as Susie says, exactly. And that feels a bit forced. Yeah, feels a little bit forced. So I think we'll drop the scythe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that all the dresses?
Well, this is something else that he's submitted, that Omri has submitted, which is he wants to do a remake of the original dress. And I think I mentioned in one of the last streams that he made the comment regarding the stitching, because in Madness Returns, the stitching became very big. And that was actually one of the changes that Ken Wong made to that dress for that project. So it kind of made me laugh when Omri wrote and said, let's make the stitching small again. Fair enough. The dress, though, I think looks like it fits more to a character who would be 13 in this game. And of course, I like the silhouette of her, the shape of her, the dress, the size of her. She looks, in this image and some of the other images that have come out of our work recently, she's starting to look more and more like a girl in the range of 13.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yep. So it looks really good.
Yeah.
And so that's the dresses he's done so far. That's 1, 2, the Inferno, 3, Denial, 4, Chaos, and 5, the Blackening.
6, stay out of my personal space.
6,
7,
don't
get my personal space.
Don't misginger me. We'll have to do the misgingered dress next.
The misgingered dress.
Yes, it'll be a dress made entirely of ginger, and she'll have ginger red hair. But yeah, we have these dresses so far, and these are being pulled from a document I did, which was a sort of timeline and locations document I'm trying to find, but I don't know exactly where it went. But if you go back to some of the earlier streams, you'll see that we've done a bit of an initial layout of the locations and themes for the various areas in Asylum, in Wonderland. And that's what Omri's working off of right now. So we should expect to see quite a few more of these dresses before too long.
How many more are there in the document that he's working on?
So I sent along a document that broke the world into 7 distinct planets plus chaos, which would make 8. So there should be 8 in total.
Okay.
So we should expect to see at least 3 more.
At least 3.
If he ends up doing, as he suggested, some dresses based on not just locations, but also characters, then we would end up with quite a few more dresses.
Right. Blade Siskadol, super chats. This is a super chat from my dog for Lulu.
Wow.
There you go, Lulu.
Lulu, did you hear that?
Super chatted you.
She is conked out here on my lap.
She's chilled out on American's lap.
Don't wake her up. Don't wake up the dog. We've had enough of the dog.
Enough dog action this morning.
Yeah.
Ninja Friday also super chats. $2 not to do a ginger dress.
Yeah. All right, we'll avoid that. Hey,
We'll
Cannibal
abandon
Clown,
that.
I think that YouTube has taken away the PM function. That's why I was saying, if you win a prize during today's stream, you need to email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com with your details. That would be email address, mailing address, phone number, name, the thing you won, even though Martin's already written that down.
Yeah.
And then we will get your stuff sent to you.
We shall. As long as you give us the correct address.
Yeah, there is a new YouTube function for PMing, but it's something to do with you have to go to like the business contact button. But they've told us that they've done away with entirely the functionality of PMing. So you'll have to either go find the business contact that's probably under our about.
Probably.
And, or just email.
Ninja Friday again. $2 more because I'm mad I didn't type ninginger.
Ninginger.
So no ninginger dress. Is that right?
Don't ninginger me. Would that be misgendering someone as a ninja?
Or as a ginger?
It could also be that it's difficult to gender a ninja because they're all ninja'd up. You can't see what's going on under there.
I wonder if they had problems with that back in the day.
They might. They just might. All right, let's get back into art review. We have a lot to get through today.
Ooh.
This is from Joey. Now, she's been working on a set of tarot cards using the characters from Wonderland. This is obviously the White Rabbit with clock in hand representing the moon.
It's I'm liking this sort of ye olde look of these tarots that she's doing. Very much like the kind of the intro to Madness Returns.
Yep.
The papery style.
I sent along to her a couple of reference images that were taken from some of these old alchemy texts, and so that style is very close to the style you see here, and so that's what she's been working off of. So as she works through this, though, I think we are getting closer and closer to the realization that at some point there needs to be an actual tarot card based on our Alice.
I think so.
Yeah.
It has to happen one way or another.
A tarot deck. I mean, we have the cards, but we're going to have to make an entire tarot deck. And then we also need to figure out how we're going to integrate the cards themselves into the game. And we've had a little bit of discussion about that, but I don't think we've 100% figured it out.
No, but there's plenty of time.
There is. But it would be good to hear from people their thoughts on how best to leverage tarot cards in the game.
How would you guys like to see tarot cards implemented?
Now, it could be something where, as she travels through the game, the picking up of the tarot cards happens as if those are pages from a book. And so as she's moving through the chapters of her adventure, the tarot cards could be a way of marking progress or of capturing the next bit of text, the next bit of story,
right,
as she moves through the game. We also had something that looked kind of tarot card-like in Madness Returns, and that was the weapons. Like when you acquired the pepper grinder, for instance, there was a card that came up. And I think that was good. I don't know that we want to go there specifically, like exactly like that again, because what we have been talking about is doing toys as weapons. The toys, the weapons, they're going to have a much more kind of childish feel. And I feel like these tarot cards live in a much more mature space. They're darker, they're more refined, and so we'll have to figure out exactly how we're going to leverage that.
Lucas Severin super chats us again. What wit? White Rabbit is my favorite Jefferson Airplane song. Do you know that one, American?
Of course. Very famous.
I know Jefferson Airplane, but
it's a prerequisite. Basically, if you have a 60s, 70s hippie Vietnam whatever movie,
right.
You will hear White Rabbit played at some point during that film. Very often when the people in the film consume drugs for the first time.
I'll probably know it then. I'll check it out after the stream.
Well, it makes specific mention to Alice.
Okay.
And it's a song inspired by the Alice in Wonderland story, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with doing drugs.
Okay.
As you do. Okay, so this...
I just had a thought about tarot cards. If they were used as, like, weapon upgrades... So, for example, Wheel of Fortune adds 10% luck to do a critical on each attack, etc. And each weapon has like 3 slots, and you can mix and match.
We could do that. As I said before, we did actually use tarot or cards, very much like tarot cards, for the weapon system and the upgrading in Madness Returns. I don't know if we want to return to that exact theme in Asylum, but we could.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Alice on Elm Street, super chatting us again. Doing very well for a brand new viewer. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
What if collecting the cards makes her remember events from her previous Wonderland adventures, like the original story and Through the Looking Glass?
Well, again, this is similar to what we did in Madness Returns, and that was that as you moved through Madness Returns, there were little tchotchkes, little glass models of pieces from her past, houses, glasses, you name it. And the recovery of those items recovered memories, and so that was part of how we got a lot of the exposition about past events fed to the player. And we could do that. We could link the tarot cards to the narrative so that the acquisition of each card takes her back to some memory related to either a previous adventure in Wonderland or some of the events leading up to or including the fire.
Okay. Some people here liking the old tarot weapon slot idea. As Magus says, like Materia.
There you
Final
go.
Fantasy. And Ray Weatherford super chats us again. Thank you. I'd love to be a gameplay concept consultant, but I know it will never be. Is that a thing? Is that a job?
I'm not sure why you'd say that. So I think there are a lot of people out there that want to be involved in game production and game design, but that is precisely why we're doing this process the way we're doing it. Because I want to try to give people like you, Ray, and everyone else who's joining us here and over on Patreon a chance at having your voice heard, at going through... I don't know this is going to be the world's first ever public pre-production and game design process, but it'll be up there among the projects that invite the fans into this process. And so that's exactly what we're doing here. And there you are. So feel free to become a patron, get your voice heard, and get involved in the design process. There you are.
Isn't one of the Patreon tiers to actually get like early builds and such?
That is true.
There you go.
True. So back to this. This is the Mad Hatter. He has several of the alchemy symbols imprinted upon gears, which he is living inside of this sort of machine, probably of his own making, and that is the Wheel of Fortune. Pretty cool.
Wheel of Fortune is an actual tarot card then. I'm assuming Joey isn't just making titles
She's taking these from the major Arcana or Arcana. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that, but she's taken these from the cards in the tarot card. And so the Tower would be one of those.
I recognize the Tower.
Do you recognize this beastie?
Is that the Jabberwock?
It is indeed.
Ooh.
Though I think in the new game we'll model this off of Lulu. I've seen her make this face before.
Is it Jabberwock or Jabberwocky?
It's the Jabberwocky.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slithering Toad. And I don't remember the entire thing, but yeah, the Jabberwocky. I think the Jabberwocky made an appearance as a Monty Python. Didn't they do a film called Jabberwocky?
I believe they did.
I believe they did. Anyway, so this card is based on the Jabberwocky, and this is the Tower. I quite like this one. I'd have to say that of the cards she's done so far, this might be my favorite.
Yeah. Let's point out Blade Siskadol doing a very generous super chat to us. Thank you very much. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Martin's suggestion with the tarot cards sounds cool. Thank you very much for that too. I'm also sorry for spamming you guys with super chats. More to come next stream. Don't be sorry for spamming us with super chats. It all goes to a worthy cause or two.
Lulu treats and margaritas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is showing signs that she's well on her way to a pretty impressive tarot deck. Here we have the Empress, and this is of course Alice, her vision of the Queen, surrounded by tentacles and with her disgusting tentacly hands.
Those hands always creep me out on cosplayers. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Matt S super chats us, but hasn't said anything. So Matt S, say something in the chat. I'll try and catch it. But thank you for that.
That's a nice card. I like what she's done here. And I like Matt S for the super chat. Thank you, Matt, and everyone else who's throwing massive super chat love at us today. You are loved in return.
You are.
That does bring us to the end of art review. Could just really quickly take a look at this. This is instructions that I've sent along to the factory who are going to produce the box and the bag. And we also have a coin frame, a holder, but this is for the Chaos coin. Do you have Chaos coins over there, Martin?
I do, but are we going to do that before the competition or after?
Just grab them quickly.
Let's just grab them.
You guys can spam the chat for the next contest. We're going to give away another set of patches, but before that, Martin has a massive bag of Chaos coins. Ooh. I don't know if they can really see those.
Get one out.
But yeah, we're doing design for all the pieces that go along with the Chaos coin. The Chaos coin, of course, you can have by becoming a patron. You can also go over to Mysterious and buy one directly there now, but it may be a little while before we have all the box and bag stuff ready. But yeah, those are physical coins. As you can see, there's a whole bag of them there. They're physical coins which grant you ownership of a virtual coin in Asylum, and on that virtual coin, Martin's making all kinds of noise. On that virtual coin, you can put your name and a message, both of which we would have to approve, because we don't want like Greg writing his name as GregMyJunk.com. Parabec.
100 years, gregsjunk.com.
Anyway, so we're going to be giving away embroidery patches.
Pumpery Cosplay super chatsers, thank you very much. I love the Alice games so much. Thank you for making them, and they want to cosplay all of them, all of the costumes.
That's going to be a lot of
That would be a lot of work.
A lot of costumes, but good luck with that, and thank you very much for the super chat.
It's another super chat. Mad Method, thank you for that. Appreciated. How about a character asking you to bring their tarot cards back? Then they read your fortune with the cards, giving you properties like health, damage, resistances, etc. Think Bastion Transistor.
Now, I like
fetch
that.
Quests.
I actually like the idea that there's someone in the game who, as you add cards to the deck, uses those cards to read your fortune. That's pretty cool.
And adds a random buff.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the outcome would be. I'm just saying that, like, I simply like the idea that you could have the cards used as actual tarot cards in the game. That's kind of cool. And then you collect cards. So yeah, Mad Matthew, that's a good idea. We need to get that written into the wiki.
Go in the wiki.
Lulu, you cannot lick my tattoos off. I don't know how many times I've told you this.
She tries.
She does try. All right, let's do a spin here.
Spin for the
patches. And Nightbot says Ash Ketchum rocks. So Ash Ketchum rocks, congratulations for winning the Asylum patches. You need to email us mysterious@americanmcgee.com, and then you need to give us your name, email address, phone number, all that kinds of good stuff. If you can figure out how to do the message here on YouTube, that works as well, but I know that they've removed the PM function, so good luck with that. We have a super chat
from SW
for $5. Thank you, SW. Okay, I'm going to use that to buy treats for Lulu. She's very interested in what's going on here with treats.
Is the next game a sequel or a prequel of the previous game? As a wiki says, Alice in Madness Returns is 19.
So SW, this is a prequel, and we also have a timeline for the prequel, for the previous games and for this, and you can go and check that out in the previous streams. I think I also posted it up over on Patreon, and it gives you the exact dates and ages of Alice at the various stages of her narrative through the games. But yeah, this is a prequel.
Kendall Straley super chats us. Thank you. Losing Wi-Fi, but wanted to check in and say hello. Make sure you take care of yourselves. As much as we all love you, I'd hate to see you burn out.
Why are we going to burn out?
We're way off that. Still fresh-faced and full of energy.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're burning out anytime soon. But thank you very much, Kendall. Appreciate the love and the support, and love you for all that love and support.
When we are burning out, we'll remember you.
Yes.
Victorian super chats. Thank you. Your work brings me to another world. My favorite Alice character is the Jabberwock, and I really hope we get to see something of him in Asylum. You will.
You will, for sure. As we've said, the Jabberwock will probably be presented as your first sort of illusory goal, and then he may even be the one who says upon meeting him that it's not me you're after, it's yourself, something like that. So, yeah, we'll see, but for sure the Jabberwock will make an appearance in Asylum.
He's in there.
He is.
Ice Killer super chats to remind people, don't super chat during contest spam time. It gets chaotic.
It's okay. I think people can't control their super chats, but thank you, Ice Killer, for the attempted policing. Gamer Kate Epic says, is Asylum Alice's coma dream? Well, she is for sure in a coma in the period in which Asylum takes place. So if you want to call it a dream, you could. It could be many things, a vision, a dream, a trip to an alternate universe. But this is all taking place while she's in a coma between the period where she's at the age of 13 and then just the time period leading up to the start of her waking up at the beginning of American McGee's Alice. Again, that timeline you can see in the previous chats or in the previous live streams. We posted it up on Patreon, and we will put it into the wiki as well.
Yeah. Alice on Elm Street is back again. Thank you. Will we be seeing any London, either in reality or flashbacks in Asylum?
I don't think so, because, again, all of this game is going to take place while she's in some sort of coma and in the Asylum. I don't feel like her as a child would have necessitated, like, there wouldn't be any flashbacks to some scenes in London. So we'll probably not be seeing London unless it's something in and around the Asylum. But so far in the narrative, we've not We've not discussed or thought about any sort of London elements. Personally, like, I liked the London stuff, but I don't feel like this is that game. I think that if we were to continue the story after Madness Returns, and that's sort of the space in which Otherlands lived, we could see a lot more of London and the thing we called Lunderland, which is kind of the combination of London and Wonderland. That could happen, but I don't think that's Asylum.
Nope.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go. So that's the end of art review, and we've given away some stuff. I think it's time for
another super chat. We're not going to get anything done today.
Well, we just need to go play the game. So you read the super chats, and I'm going to start playing the game. Although I don't know if I can. Do you see this?
Lulu, you may have to move.
I don't know if you guys can see this. The dog is just zonked out here in my lap. She's like, I don't know. This is actually how I work every day. She's very much a lap dog. She just hangs out in my lap while I'm trying to work. Hello.
Callum Nightingale, super chats. Thank you very much. Going from the idea previously of the character wanting the tarot cards and in return gives you upgrades, can we have the insane children give creepy fortunes?
That would be really cool.
Would the insane children be around in Asylum? Isn't that a later thing?
No, they are mentioned in the case book. There is mention of there being other inmates, and so for sure. For sure.
For sure.
Yes. I'm going to play the game, and you're going to read the comments.
Let me...
What do you think about that?
Let me also fire up Patreon.
Right, sounds
Probably
good.
have done that earlier.
We are getting, I think, pretty close to the end. There's the Griffin. Take heart, says the Griffin. Go find some allies. Oh, look at that amazing flying animation, circa 1999. Of course, they can't see the flying animation because it's broken.
No.
That's sad. Sorry about that. Yeah. We are in the world of lava, though. I like lava worlds. For sure, there's going to be a lava world in Asylum.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we're going to bring these guys back, because I literally have no clue who they are or why they're in the game, other than they seem to fit with the lava theme. Very strange. There was a lot of that going on during the production of this game. There was sort of art that was getting done, design that was getting done, programming that was getting done that just sort of kind of came out of nowhere.
It's just kind of enemies designed for the sake of being enemies rather than being actual sort of real Wonderland
because there was a lot of art that was done by a team that was sort of directly under my sort of control, command, whatever you want to say, that was largely in California, and then there was a team of artists who were with the developer Rogue in Dallas, and the Rogue guys, there was some parts where they sort of went rogue, but most of the time they did it in a way that was totally acceptable and wonderful, but sometimes they did it in a way where you'd get like characters that you didn't quite felt like fit into the world, but anyway, turned out okay.
Okay. Ash Ketchum Rocks is asking about what email to send his info to. mysterious@americanmcgee.com. There you go. Nice and simple.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look at these comments. This is for the latest Patreon post with a big tarot card picture. Friday 893p. Wasn't sure about the tarot concept at first, but starting to love them. Missed the last two live streams, but looking forward to this one. And also, thanks Omri for his awesome work. And I just look up and see a super chat. Victorian. Odd question. Do you recall Grimm? What's the story with that?
I assume you're talking about the game I made called Grim. It wasn't that long ago, and we don't drink that much, so yes, we recall Grim. That was the game upon which I founded Spicy Horse, and was done for a company called GameTap. And unless you've got some really specific question about what you'd like to know about Grim,
what's the story with that? It's kind of
there's
vague.
a ton of like Wikipedia and Google search results out there that would give you like days of information. But yeah, we did an episodic game based on the Grimm's fairy tales, and there's like 13 hours of content, 24 episodes. I'm not sure exactly what you want to know, but thank you for the $2, Victorian.
I'll try to see if Victorian elaborates on that.
Please.
But in the meantime, Tom1XD super chats us. €13 for Friday the 13th.
Wow.
Thank you very much. The dresses were great. Can't wait to see more about Asylum. Well, just keep joining us here. You know?
I'm having a bad time here, Martin. Oh, I got him.
That's fine.
I got him.
So yeah, we're always, posting Facebook and Patreon and doing live streams. There's always lots of info coming out, so join us for the ride.
Well, thank you very much, Tom1XD, Tommy XD.
Tom, yeah.
And it is Friday the 13th.
It is.
13 is my lucky number. I was born on the 13th. Ooh.
Was it a Friday?
I don't think it was a Friday.
Okay.
I think my 13th birthday might have been on Friday the 13th. I have to go look that up.
That'd be creepy.
But that is my lucky number. I'm not at all bothered by the number 13.
Okay. Lucas Severin doesn't know if he's going to make this stream.
I saw him in the chat.
Yeah. Heading out to go and see the Miku Expo this weekend.
So
Miku.
I took a lava bath. Now, Martin, I did read some comments where people were giving suggestions that you might try to move through these Patreon comments a little more quickly.
I'm trying! But I also want to give people, they took the time to write in. Got to give them their due.
But we don't have time for all that. That's exactly the comment that was made.
Let's do the lightning round.
Yeah.
Garrett Scott, loving the denial dress, but thinks the symbols could be replaced. Anthony Morvan.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I'm on fire.
It's telling him off a little bit about reiterating comments. There you go. My favourite username, Drunken Catface. Loving the new Wheel of Fortune tarot image. Steph Tiramisu. Loving the dresses. Carola Gioko. Loving the idea of a tarot deck. Definitely have to do that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Victorian came back with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Victorian, for that.
Thank you.
And asks, what was your inspiration for Grim being a dwarf, and why did you go with the art style that you did? So the art style was decided by Ken Wong, and that is the guy who became the art director at Spicy Horse. You would know him these days for the work that he did on Monument Valley. And the most recent is called... I forgot. I just jumped in the lava again.
Monument Valley 2.
No. He's recently done another super popular mobile game. But anyway, their company is called Mountains, and it's down in Melbourne. And so Ken, I think we knew that he was going to be a dwarf simply because it's the fairy tale world, and you have dwarves in the fairy tale world. And I remember Ken doing a couple of different concepts where he was sort of more normal, like a normal kind of like, what is it I want to say? Like, you can be a dwarf or you can be a midget. So there are versions. So there was a version where he looked quite elfish. That is to say, he had the proper sort of body proportions, like legs to arms to that kind of to head. But then we ended up doing something that was a bit more aggressive in terms of the design, and I think Ken was simply trying to give him a very distinct look. And I have to say, I think that Grimm as a character design was not the right direction. I felt like he wasn't particularly attractive for audiences. You didn't feel kind of a simpatico with him. You didn't want to be him or even be his friend. And of course, he was supposed to be like crotchety and unlikable, but I think we took that a bit too far. So anyway, that was the origin of Grimm.
There you go.
There you go.
Victorian. Right, back to comments. Go, go, go. Kylie Blair, loving the tarot card. Priscilla Nosoma thinks the denial dress should be Alice's start dress in the game.
Well,
the yellow.
We know that.
Denial is the first zone.
It is the first zone, so...
But is she wearing the dress as soon as she gets there?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Garrett Scott. Oh, this is a big one. Let me quickly skim this. Oh my god. What exactly is Charles Dodgson's canonicity in the Alice universe?
Yeah, this has come up a bunch, and it has been a little bit controversial in these live streams because I've said before that I am not interested in having Dodgson in these games as a character or a point of reference, and I'm especially not interested in discussing sort of the rumors of his sexual interest in Alice and whatnot. So my goal is that he not be represented in the games, and that he not play a part, meaningful or otherwise, in Alice's history in this timeline that we've created. Now, the reason that's become a bit controversial in these streams is that during one of the streams recently, as we were moving through the game, lo and behold, there was his portrait on the wall. And I had no excuse for that other than, as I said before, the guys at Rogue sometimes went a little rogue, and I think he kind of slipped into the game. But if I had my druthers, he would not be in the game or a point of discussion.
Okay. Moving on.
Oh, come on.
Fanny Lamarche loves the dress. Sarah Heist, Holy Shiznits, loving the tarot idea. Brooklyn Harding is just loving all of the art and wants to learn how to use tarot cards.
Yeah, I had to buy some tarot cards, and I started reading up on it, and it's a fascinating topic. By the end of this, we're all going to be tarot card masters.
Maybe we will. Austin Cook is loving the Hatter on the tarot. Rachel Garza loving the dress. Salah also loving the yellow on the dress. Asteria Visual, live stream, yay. Asteria's with us, I think. Yeah. Loving the tarot. Lady Croft, looking forward to see the entire tarot set. It's like 70 something.
It is.
It's a lot of images to make.
A lot of images to make. And, with something like Out of the Woods, we couldn't have done that on our own without the support of people from Kickstarter helping to crowdfund that. And it'll be probably something similar with a tarot deck, unless we go out and find a publisher who wants to help to fund that. So we'll see.
Seen people talking about, would Alice have had a boyfriend? No boy.
No. We are not looking for a romantic love interest in these stories. It doesn't make sense at all, because she does not need a man to complete her story, not in the least bit, and never will. And if ever you guys have my permission to come burn my house down, if ever we create a story in which somehow getting a boyfriend, securing a man, somehow solves her problems, because I fucking hate that storyline.
The man will solve everything with his manliness. This is not seen this before. A new sponsor. welcome Mika Mika.
Welcome, Mika. I don't even know what a sponsor is. What happens if you click on this?
We kind of looked into that. We sort of ticked the box that allowed sponsors. We had a talk about it previously.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. We'll look into that.
Yeah, but thanks.
Mika Mika, we'll see what it does. But thank you. Blade Siskadol, super chatting again. Thank you. I've ordered the Japanese Alice Madness Returns.
Yeah, Alice has got a massive. There's sort of that Tom Waits joke, like the famous in Japan. And Alice actually is famous in Japan. She has a massive following there. And I remember I went to the Japanese launch of Madness Returns in Tokyo, and one of the Japanese EA employees came up and said, "Oh, Alice is absolutely huge here. It sells like crazy." And I said, "Wow, it's only been out for a few days." And she said, No. The original Alice is still selling like crazy here. It's absolutely massive." And when that art book, The Art of Alice Madness Returns, came out in English, it was, for some period of weeks, the #1 best-selling foreign book in Japan. And so if you went to Amazon, it was right there on the front page, and they sold a shit ton of them. And because of that, Dark Horse, the publisher, finally got smart and said, "We're going to do a Japanese-only version of the book." And it's gorgeous. Actually, we have it around here somewhere. It's the only copy of the art book that I have because I think it's super cool.
Was the game localized?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, not just like subtitles, the voices and such?
That I don't remember if there were Japanese specific voice actors, but there was definitely a Japanese, subtitled version of it. This doesn't seem to be working on him. He doesn't seem to care.
Try something else.
How about if I jump in there with him? That doesn't seem to do it.
Did that not work?
That did not work.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm not surprised.
Lulu, what do you suggest?
She's trying to tell me that it's going to be time for prizes soon.
Matt S. comes back to us. This super chat thing is not user-friendly. Is it not? We've never clicked the button.
Super chatted ourselves.
Maybe we should.
I don't know that works.
Sorry for that. It's not us. We didn't set it up. We hope you can figure it out and get enjoyment from it. But thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat, Matt S. Sorry to hear that you're running into
lava.
Look at that! I threw myself into lava in solidarity with you and your super chat troubles. Sorry to hear that it's causing you trouble.
Amber Collier, loving tarot, as is Anthony Morgan again. Stephanie Lynn agrees. So does Ice Killer. Irene DeGroat, loving the dress. Pretty in the front, chaos and distressed in the back.
Yeah, I made a comment on Facebook. I said she'd been hitting the hot sauce a little too hard.
Was that somebody said, business up front, party in the back?
Oh, Jesus.
It's pretty funny.
It's one thing to build an entire area full of lava. It's another thing to build an area full of lava and then fill that area with really crappy geometry that doesn't allow easy navigation.
Look at that. Mika Mika has got specialness next to their name as a sponsor. Very cool. I guess we read that out. In the denial stage, it would be cool if maybe small black fairies that speak with the voices of those in the real world speak about either the fire or her current time state. Real-time state. So she's getting an update on reality.
Little black fairies whispering things in your ear. That's cool.
I mean, I assume people would be talking about stuff next to her while she's laying in bed.
I see what you're saying. So she's in the asylum, she's laying in bed in a coma, but you're getting the messages from the real world coming through.
Maybe.
That could be cool. All right.
Victorian is back. Yay. Thank you. This is the last one. I've always wanted to ask American. If one wants to make a good fleshed out villain, what should one do?
There are entire books and websites and YouTube things dedicated to this. But usually the best type of villain is the one with whom we can sympathize and that we can understand their motivations. And even if we don't agree with their motivations, we can see why they're motivated to do the things they want to do. It was why, like, for me as a kid, some of my favorite villains were the James Bond villains who had it in their mind that they were going to remake the world into a better shape by first destroying the world. And at that time in history, there was all this sort of eco-sensitivity, and we had the idea that we as human beings were going to destroy the world. And so having villains who encapsulated that concept, the save the rainforests and save the whales, it made sense as an audience to watch those types of villains then appear on the big screen and tell us that, yes, we're destroying the world, and the reason that I'm going to kill everyone is so that we can save the world. Ah! Into the lava.
Is that how you're trying to save the world, by killing yourself here?
Well, this is part of it. The fewer human beings there are, the happier the world might be, right? So
maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, the basic answer is you want bad guys you can sympathize with. If you can't sympathize with your bad guys one way or another, they're not going to be very good bad guys, unless, and this is the exception, unless you're trying to make something absolutely horrific. So, like, I don't need to sympathize with a monster, and so you can have a bad guy who's simply a monster. And I would say that what we did with Bumby in Madness Returns and in this series was we crafted a monster. We didn't want to sympathize with him, but you have to go really, really hard in that direction if you're going to have that idea. Anyway,
this super chat's going crazy. You're gonna
Martin.
Have to scroll back.
Go. I can't scroll back.
You're gonna have to lose game focus.
Man.
You're just answering questions too thoroughly. Ninja Friday is following the artists on social media, following Omri, but can't find other people like Joey.
Joey's not on social media because she's in China. But I do suggest that everyone spam the chats with your favorite all-time villain, and then we're going to give away some patches. Okay. Meanwhile, Blue Rose...
retracted super chat.
So Ninja Friday, the only people you could follow on social media would be myself and Alex Crowley, and Omri. Joey's not on social media because she's in China and all that kind of stuff is blocked here. Somebody sent along a $2 retracted message. Okay. Blue Rose says, will the dresses have superpowers like in Alice Madness Returns? I think the answer is sometimes. I think some of them are going to have specific powers and some of them may just be dresses. We'll see about that. There's another super chat from Lucas Severin saying, I have to go get ready for a trip to an expo, but I want you to look into the camera, stare into the souls of everyone in the chat, and say how far away you are from the finance goal for Alice 3.
This is easy.
Actually, we may only be something like
about
half an hour away. But more importantly, we are still quite far away from the patron goal of 2,000 patrons, at which point we're going to unlock these amazing chaos coins that Martin have put completely out of my reach. We're going to unlock the chaos coins, which we're going to send out to people. And so I'd say help us get to that goal first, and then we worry about the game funding a little bit more later on. But there's a Cheshire Cat and a chaos symbol. Those are done, but you gotta go become a patron.
Phone calls occurring.
There are. But anyway, to make your point there, Lucas, I will look into the camera and I will say we are still far off from many of the things that we'd like to do art and production wise. The overall financing of the game, we may solve that soon via large corporate sponsors. But that doesn't mean that we don't still have quite a ways to go on pre-production and on the creation and distribution of cool things like that. So if you're interested in that, go become a patron today.
Please do.
There you go, Lucas. All right, we're going to give away something. There's too much going on today. We're going to give away...
It's a busy old day.
It's a very busy day. We're going to give away patches. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Vivian Coelho.
Viviana Coelho.
Viviana Coelho, you have just won the patches. So if you could, email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com your mailing address, email address, phone number, your name, what you've won, all that
your
kind of good
hopes
stuff.
and aspirations.
You could send your hopes and aspirations, but Martin might eat them for lunch. All right, so
yes,
congratulations to Viviana. Please send your details so that we can send you your prize.
I won finally,
Woohoo!
they say. I should
That's
start
good.
saying they instead of he and she.
You should.
I don't want to misginger people.
You shouldn't misginger people, Martin.
Always they and them.
Yes. Or ninja.
Or ninja.
Just use ninja as a personal pronoun with everyone you
Okay.
meet.
Feverblade
Damn it.
is super chatsers.
Thank you, Feverblade.
Shishini, as we like to say over here. Could not be here today. Wish you well. Love dress. Could not be here today.
And yet there you
somehow
are.
Super chatted us.
Yeah, that's a strange one.
It's a
Maybe that's like a
mystery.
Feverblade bot that was
Maybe.
not really there, but sort of is. Very strange.
But appreciate the chat.
Oh, I'm dying. I've got this dog on my lap, and then I've got to play the game and read the chats. It's killing me.
Gosh darn it. Garrett Scott, super chats. Thank you, Garrett. I know I asked about Dodgson's canonicity on Patreon, but Martin missed the part. Sorry, I've been told to go fast. Where I mentioned Dodgson being mentioned by name in an Alice Madness Returns memory. He's got you there.
Yeah, look, I don't know what you guys want. I'm going to tell you again, and I have to say, I find these questions about Dodgson to be slightly annoying, because I'd like there not to be much reference to Dodgson in the games. The fact that it slips in there sometimes does not, and it is not, any indication of my desire to have any reference to him in the games. I'm not. I don't know how else to explain this. I don't want him in the games. I don't want him to be a part of the universe. I don't want him to be referenced in the stories. I don't want him to be in the artwork. I don't want to talk about him. I don't think that he plays a critical role in who Alice is or what her story is, what her past is, any of that. I don't know how to make that any more clear.
I guess maybe just say sometimes that game making is a chaotic experience.
There are 300 people working on Madness Returns.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to slip something in, either on purpose or just out of just they don't know any better, it'll slip in.
It can happen accidentally. It can happen spitefully. It could happen for any number of reasons. But again, I will repeat that I, as the creator of the franchise, would like there to be no reference to, connection to, or otherwise mention of Dodgson in the things that are our Alice. That's about as simple as I can make it. If those things somehow slip their way into the game, I'm sorry. Ignore them. I do.
Go.
There you go.
There you go, Garrett.
I don't know. I'm a little confused. You'd probably note a slight amount of frustration in my voice, and it has to do with the fact that this week on Facebook, some random person popped up and started peppering me with questions about whether or not Dodgson was a pedophile, and whether or not I'd read such and such an evidence and seen this movie and known about this book, and was Dodgson a pedophile, and was he interested in Alice? This is one of the reasons why I don't want to get into the conversation, because I don't know. And I don't feel like anyone knows. From what I understand, this interpretation of who he was and his interest in Alice, it's all hearsay. It's after the fact. The guy is dead. He can't defend himself. It was a different era. They had different sensibilities. Who knows? And I don't know. And I don't want to get involved in the conversation again because it doesn't play into the story we've created, the characters that we're dealing with. And it's not my intention for our games in any way to touch on or disparage that guy who is dead and cannot defend himself. Everything that's going on in our games is fictional.
Mm-hmm.
It's a separate timeline of a separate group of characters. I just don't know. And so, yeah, I told this guy, hey, I'm not interested in talking about this. And 5 seconds later, he comes back and he goes, but have you seen this fact? And I'm like, oh,
I don't
Jesus.
care about that fact.
So, yeah, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to talk about Charles Dodgson, mainly because I can't pronounce his stupid name. And I don't want him in the games because I don't want to talk about him. I don't know how else to.
I think you've been pretty thorough for the last 5 minutes.
I'm trying to be as thorough. I'm trying to be as thorough as I can, governor.
You finally got past that bit.
Yeah, well, I finally got all that stuff out. And guess what? Lava shower. So yeah, that's it. I'm hoping that brings to an end our conversations on that topic.
Well, almost. Garrett super chats again. Sorry for being annoying. It's just for the public Alice wiki and out of professional curiosity.
Yeah, that's fine. But if you could write into that wiki
in
everything
capital
that I
letters.
Just said. Yeah, just write in everything I just said. That I'm not interested in it. I'm not trying to tell that story. And that's that.
That's that.
So let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Just a few more comments to go. What did I get to? I did Ice Killer. Irene de Groot, loving the dress. Delphi P, loving the tarot. Haley Elias. Again, nothing but positive comments there. Oh, and one of last week's winners, Swoogity Swigs. Just saying that they won something in one of the streams. Yes, you did.
I'm sad about these cinematics not playing. They can hear the sound, but
they can see
visuals.
A tiny bar of cinematic.
Yeah, the visuals are broken. Yeah, see, there's someone in the chats here who's just outright saying that I'm lying.
Who says that?
You're lying, says Alicia Crow. And this is exactly what I want to try to avoid. I don't want to get involved in this perceived controversy about who Charles Dodgson was or was not, who Lewis Carroll was or was not. It's not interesting to me. And then and this is why, because there are people out there who try to make connections between the real world story of who Lewis Carroll was and his relationship with Alice and what it is that we try to do in the games. And it turns into a giant mess, because then you've got people out there who want to defend who he was, like the Lewis Carroll Society, and people who want to attack who he was, like random people on the internet or people who make Discovery Channel specials about what a child rapist Lewis Carroll was. You can't win, which is exactly why I'd like to stay out of it. Now, if some sort of date in the game or some reference in the game shows up and seems to confirm your suspicion that I'm a liar and ultimately there's some sort of connection here that we're hiding or covering. No, there is no conspiracy. There is no desire on my part to hide things or to. I don't want to be involved. That's it.
It's basically what was said earlier. Game making is chaotic. Don't take everything as super 100% absolute guaranteed canon. If something slips in, it slipped in.
Yeah. Well,
if American McGee live on a stream tells you something, maybe don't call him a liar.
No, but there's a ton of fans, so-called fans out there who, and we were talking about that this morning, that the previous AmericanMcGee.com forums died as a result of the so-called fans going mental over a variety of topics which they felt weren't being addressed in the way that they wanted them addressed, and they eventually burned the Asylum down.
Yeah.
I want to avoid that.
Hopefully. But yeah, she's still going at it.
Really?
Yeah. Can't really say much more than you've already said. I mean, we don't want to get bogged down in this. Let other people's comments have a go, but I mean, what was said was said. You can either accept it or not, I guess.
I don't get it.
Mm.
I really don't understand it. Oh well. We're saving.
There we go. Keep saving, boy.
Yep. But this is the thing. It wouldn't really matter. Whatever we were creating, however we were creating it, people would find a way to dig controversy out of the fiction, the history, the characters. It wouldn't matter. People would find a way to be upset about something. That's what people do.
It's the way of the world.
Yep. Oh well. So now we're back to Lava World.
Again?
Well, we found the Griffin. We're trying to now find allies to help us defeat the Jabberwocky.
I was saying, was that the Jabberwocky you were just
He was
fighting?
there for a moment,
right.
but then I think we scared him off.
Yeah. Wuss.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty powerful.
What else we got going on here? Let's check
You
out
got
the
comments
chat.
to read from Patreon, Martin.
Well, there's only 15 minutes left, and I got through that entire comment and then only realised that I could read those comments because that was open to the public. I now have to kind of log in to get to any of the other comments.
You'd think you'd do that before we started the live stream.
You'd think.
You'd think.
But I didn't.
Go figure. There's Humpty Dumpty.
Huh?
There's Humpty Dumpty. He's on the wall there.
Really? Yeah. I'll try to log in quickly, but it means I have to go to my password manager. Let's see.
See, patrons, this is why your comments are not being read during the live streams.
I just read a bunch of comments. As fast as humanly possible.
It's true. It's true. There's a reason they're not being read right now. I think I'm going to have to get a less clicky keyboard. Because this is maybe the world's clickiest keyboard.
People out there being annoyed by the clickety-clacking?
I'm annoyed by it. I actually bought this keyboard because it's clicky. I like a clicky keyboard when I'm writing, but when you're live streaming, not so much.
Okay. Just logging in. Ignore me for a while.
I think everyone's ignoring you, Martin.
I'm going to log in and it's going to be time to like wrap things up.
Alright, that's fine. Well, before we end today's stream, we are going to have to go through... Wait, what are you doing? You've given up?
I've given up. Do you want me to get like through like 4 comments?
Martin gives up very easily. Can you imagine if Martin was the one playing the game? He would have given up ages ago. You're like,
I wouldn't have
screw
to give
this.
up because I'm awesome and nothing bothers me in games.
But you clearly give up easily. Alright, so anyway, before we end today's stream, we are going to give away one more set of patches, and we're going to go through all the things you can do to help support the work we're doing right now. The main thing that I want to get done, and I hope it would happen this week, but I don't, or this month, but I don't know that it's possible. We still need about another 400 patrons in order to unlock the Chaos Coin goal. And I really think that the only way we're going to get 400 more patrons is if our existing fans listening to this live stream and or patrons already, if they leverage their social networks to spread the word. Like go on to your Instagram, your Facebook, your Snapchat, your Grindr, Martin's on Grindr, all those platforms, and you implore your friends and family and frenemies to sign up to Patreon. And keep in mind that you can sign up for just $1 a month, and that gets you access to all of the early access release of art and story and game design. That also allows you to make comments over on Patreon. So when we put up new art and game design and story, you will be the first to see it, and you'll be able to write in the comments your feedback on those things. And again, that's just $1 a month. And that $1, and you being a patron, gets us that much closer to the next goal, which is the Chaos Coin. And if you're interested in the Chaos Coin, at the point where we hit 2,000 patrons, then you can up your pledge, and you can get the coin for, I think it's just like $35.
Yeah,
it's cheap.
Just a one-off.
I have actually put the coin up for sale directly over on Mysterious, and over there it's $75, and then when we finally move towards crowdfunding, it'll probably be over $100 for whatever package the coin is contained within. So this is your best chance to get your hands early on the Chaos Coin for the cheapest price at which it will ever exist.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are saying there's a blunderbuss near Humpty that you're missing.
I'll go back. But okay. I was busy up here checking out the tentacles.
Check them out.
Yes.
What was it you said last week? Tentacles make everything better.
Tentacles do make everything better. The Japanese figured that out long time ago. So we got about 10. Martin gave up on Patreon.
I tried logging in, but then realized it does the blooming Google, are you a spam bot thing, and I haven't got my VPN on, and it just...
Well, one of the problems we have is that we are getting so many comments on Patreon these days. I think we're going to have to come up with some sort of moderation scheme, and I saw that someone suggested that perhaps we read we create a list of the comments that we're going to read, and then we go through those.
Pick some good ones.
We pick good ones, and we go through those and only those. Because otherwise, we literally have no chance of getting through all the comments that are flooding in. Not just the ones that are happening here in the YouTube chat, which we owe those people a reading of their comments, but obviously all the ones that are happening over on Patreon. We may even have to start doing like 2 streams a week, because we need to start doing a design stream, like where we're actually going through the comments and curating comments and putting that stuff into the wiki and doing something where we talk about the design specifically. We're also, I think next week, we're going to have a big blob of story, which is going to drop. And so we'll be able to post up the story notes and start talking about the actual narrative, the story beats for the new game. And so that stuff is going to, of course, generate a ton of comments and feedbacks, and then we're going to have to go through that as well. So we need a process. Yes. Rather than just super fast every Patreon comment reading. Yeah. We'll get it right. First step, good-looking studio. Next step... good-looking Martin. Not too bad today. And Lulu. We've got Lulu here. We do. 7 minutes left. All right. Well, I can save, because I'm lost anyway. I've got the blunderbuss, but I don't know where to use it. So I think what I'll do is I'll save, and we'll do a final contest, and we'll do a little wrap-up kind of marketing promotion chat. What do you say? Let's do that. All right, let's do that. I've saved, and we're going to go back out here. Ladycroft says over 300 viewers tonight. Woo! That's probably a record. It's growing. I think everything's 280 growing. Was our previous. We are seeing our numbers explode on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and then the people who are watching the streams, the numbers are growing quite significantly. So I'm glad to see, and Patreon, of course, as well. I'm glad to see all those numbers growing rather quickly, snowballing even. Ice Killer, comment on my Patreon comment about RJ Berg and the color suing. Okay, so I think Ice Killer's making reference to the idea that
Oh,
the
light blue dress.
The light blue dress, and whether or not we'd get sued. And so what I wanted to say, and actually it was a good comment, and it's a good thing to bring up. You can sue anyone for any reason. And in the US, and especially when it comes to large corporations like Disney or EA, there is a thing which is referred to by lawyers as lawfare. And lawfare means that you've got so much money and so many lawyers that you can sue someone into the ground on the basis of nothing. Because if someone sues you, you then have to hire lawyers to respond. And if somebody sues you and then files tons of motions related to discovery and trying to understand your intentions when you supposedly violated something of their rights, they can tie you up in the courts with document requests and appearance requests and all kinds of, and they can choose the venue. They can choose where the lawsuit takes place. They can choose how often you get called in and what kind of documents you have to turn over. And they can do this to such a severe degree that an individual, much less even a small corporation, can be driven out of business and into bankruptcy. And at the end of it, it could be that it was completely frivolous. There was absolutely no basis for the lawsuit, but this is the way that large corporations operate. So what we would see first is Disney writing and saying in a letter, cease and desist. And cease and desist in the parlance of the American lawyer, especially when coming on Disney letterhead, essentially means you stop that right now or we'll sue you into oblivion. And they don't have to have a valid case for the suit. So no, we're not going to go anywhere near the blue dress or getting sued.
Ever.
Yeah.
There you go. Blade Siskadol Super Chats. Where can I find the beta trailer song?
I'm wondering if the beta, you mean beta, the beta trailer that is being referred to there, we used Discombobulated by Hans Zimmer in one of the beta trailers. That may be what you're thinking of. That was from the Sherlock Holmes film, the one with Robert Downey Jr. in it. So if that's the one you're referring to, then that would be the song to go and look up. I don't know. Maybe you mean something else. Yeah.
So
right.
I think people spammed the chat.
They did. We have exactly 4 minutes left, and Martin and I have to jump on a very important phone call. So we're going to do one last giveaway. And why don't you spam the chat with which company you would least like to be sued by?
I think they already spammed it when you went off on your lawfare rant.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they can continue to spam it. We
Okay,
do not
spamming.
have that many eligible users, according to Nightbot. So you might want to re-spam, and we're going to give away another set of patches. Ice Killer says, I backed a Kickstarter where a game creator lost everything due to being slapped with a lawsuit left and right. Yes, that happens. You have to be really careful.
Wonder which one that was.
Don't know.
But yeah, some Kickstarters are pretty frivolous.
This is true. Yeah. So yeah, you want to avoid pissing off companies like Disney. No, that's a big no-no. And every time I talk to my lawyer, look, I mean, I know this from having asked our lawyer on numerous occasions, things like, hey, I thought of this really creative and cute idea that we could get around XYZ. And he'll just shake his head and say, no, it doesn't work like that. It's not logical, it's not reasonable, and there's no way around it. If someone wants to sue you for whatever reason, and they have the money to do it, and they want to drive you into the ground, they can do it. You have to be very careful. All right, we got a ton of eligible users according to Nightbot. We're going to roll it. Desiree Campbell. Congratulations, Desiree. You have won a set of embroidered patches from Alice Asylum. If you could please email mysterious@americanmcgee.com, or if you find a way to message us on YouTube, there's some sort of business contact option on YouTube. You could try to make that work. But send us your name, your phone number, your email address. You might mention that you won patches, and we will
Send some out.
we will get these sent out to you ASAP.
Well done, you.
Okay, that is pretty much it for today. Again, if you could please help us increase our patron numbers by spamming your social media channels with all of the things that we're doing here. Remember, it's just $1 a month that gets you access, and that helps to increase our patron number towards the magic 2,000, at which point we unlock the Chaos Coin. And yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully with some story, some more dresses, and maybe even some business development update.
Ooh, maybe. Fingers crossed.
Thank you all so much for joining us today, for all the super chats, and for all your support and love over on Patreon. We will see you again next week.
See you later.